Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope you're having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How are you doing this morning?
I am doing great.
Come on, Mike. Where is Mike, by the way? Good morning to Mike, traveling all over the country this morning. Man, look at the SPY. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, we've got some movement here. Finally, it's a day of news. Maybe we should start right there because we got finally some economic events that are happening after quiet Monday, Tuesday. Finally, midpoint of this week, we got some economic data to actually talk about. So I'm going to start right there if we're all okay, because we have the CPI data that just came out, and basically everything was under estimates. So I don't know if you need each number, but from every forecast, we're basically down by 0.1% on everything. So month over month, year over year, core, non-core, it was all lower than anticipated. So little smaller, I guess, growth, so and that of course leads to some of the market action that we are seeing right now, and the fun doesn't end there. 2:00 this afternoon, we have the automatically published FOMC interest rate decision. If you have not experienced this, by the way, the FOMC interest rate decision, when it comes out, it's right at 2:00. And we will see a market reaction, virtually guaranteed. No matter what the expectation is, no matter what the number is, we're probably going to see the market move. Often then it retraces that move back to the point it started. Not always, but often it'll move back to the original starting point. That's because it's just the computers sort of immediately reacting. Then at 2:30, half an hour later, the press conference starts where Powell does some fixed comments and then answers questions from the press. That can have a bigger and longer lasting market impact, but it really depends on the fixed comments and, of course, the Q&A and how he responds to those. So, you never know when that reaction might be. It might be at 2:35. It might be at 3:00. Those comments can go on normally from about that press conference goes from about 20 minutes, to about an hour. So anywhere in that range from 2:30 on. So get ready for this afternoon. We should see some interesting price market action. It does mean, though, that after the open, sometimes things are a little quieter. People are positioning. They're waiting. Nobody wants to get on the wrong side of an interest rate decision if something unexpected happens. So be aware that midday, right, your noonish price action that I rely on for trading might be a little less exciting than normal. But again, you never know in these markets. But we actually have some economic stuff coming, so that's good because, frankly, we don't have many earnings, and otherwise it's fairly quiet. We do have a couple things to talk about, but so that's what I got. The CPI again already out, and it's lower than anticipated, so about 0.1% lower on virtually every measure. And then the big one, 2:00. Get ready. Are you ready, Carlos?
I'm ready. I'm enjoying this right now. All my positions on my options trades are greens, so let's hope they stay that way. All right, let's see. We'll see, guys. Great day today. It's gonna be exciting. I mean, we've been looking forward to this because it's been so slow. And I say that like it's been 3 weeks. It's only been like 2 days I've been slow, but we've been spoiled. So we've been getting used to all this great activity the market is giving us. Right now, looking pretty good as far as the SPY goes. Our gap up list is massive, as you can tell here. Everything in the green right now, at least gapping up nicely. We'll look at the top 5. We're not going to be able to get through everything. We'll look at Bitcoin. Obviously, we got Hood, we got GameStop. I'm sorry, not GameStop. Hood, Riot, and some other ones. We will look at GameStop. Yeah, we do have GameStop there. We'll look at it as well, and we'll see what's going on there. It's funny. I was in the mall over the weekend, and I saw GameStop, and I felt like going in and saying, "Hey, what do you sell?" I'm so tempted to do that, but I feel like they'll look at me like I'm an idiot. It's like, what is this guy doing? But maybe one day.
You know what? You should have asked them if they would let us do a live broadcast. Remember, we talked about doing that. We never got around to that.
And actually, it was funny. It was Friday, and I didn't watch the Keith live. I had it on my headphones, one of my headphones, and I had it on my phone because my son had half a day, so we went to the mall. And And yeah, man, as he was talking, I'm passing by the games. I'm like, man, I should go in here and ask them what they think about this, right? But it's like, he's
Yeah,
probably doesn't even probably has no clue. The guy working there.
probably
Um,
not. They'll be roaring.
yeah,
Who is that a game? I don't
yeah.
have that
Let me
on
see
the.
if I can find that in my computer. And yeah, I'll
Yeah.
look like an idiot. All right, let's get to this gappers list, guys. We got a lot to go over. BMR this morning, we are up 26%, 4.5 million shares traded. Beam R, we've seen this before because we had a huge, I don't know if you guys remember, this thing went nuts on February. Since then has come down, has not really done much. Today's up 26%. Peter, it started last night. Is this now on earnings or something brewing on their end?
Sort of, but it's not their earnings. This is a low float, so this is a very low float, small company, but they are in the AI business, providing video processing, AI-ready video processing solutions for Oracle. And we'll get to Oracle, but basically, Oracle announced a bunch of partners that they're working with in this Beamer, and however you say it. This Israeli software company was one of the many that they mentioned in their big list of partners and customers that they're working with. Where'd Carlos go?
Yeah, I'm right here. It's in
Okay.
it's in play, but I don't know. Do we like this today, Peter? I mean, there's so many other great stuff. I
No,
feel like no,
I
we don't
don't
like
like
this today. Okay,
it.
I don't.
I don't.
RNA, yeah, RNA. What do we have here? These guys are up 24%. 558 is the volume at the moment. Not a great pre-market action. Again, another one with a big pop. Avidity Bioscience. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. Aviva, but I don't know. Peter, do we like this?
Avidity,
What's the latest
yeah,
and greatest? Yeah,
Avidity Bioscience. I do like the name. I like the fact that they picked RNA as their ticker symbol. I'll give them some credit for that. This is not actually a low float, but it's probably going to trade like a low float. This is a biotech company that has good phase 1, phase 2 trial data. So we do often see these things jump when they've got good trial data that has come out. Something called Fortitude. That is demonstrating a 50% reduction in issues for those with facioscapulohumeral muscular dystrophy. I should have just said muscular dystrophy. Anyways, yeah, good results. Not the type of thing I typically trade.
yeah. I'm gonna leave it on the sidelines here. RTO is the next one, and this is also up 13%. Man, what a garbage daily and chart we have here. What is this? This is less since May. There's a garbage chart. Since May, less than 1 million shares traded. So it's just brutal. Started popping up last night, continued to pop today, up 13%. Peter, I'm not watching this. Looks foreign, by the way. Very gappy up and down here.
Oh,
What's the
good
latest?
call. Yeah, this is now. Let's see if I say this. This is Rentokil. Do you know what they do?
They kill rentals?
No, they're Rentokil. They're a pest control company out of the UK. So I'm surprised that they're publicly traded. I didn't know that they were big enough for that. But in this case, they're just jumping up because remember we talked earlier this week about the activist investors that like to take positions on boards. They take big stakes in companies, and then they really want to try and make some changes, presumably to the shareholders' benefit, right? Which sometimes benefits the company, sometimes doesn't. Sometimes it just creates turmoil. Well, Nelson Peltz is the activist investor involved here and has decided to take a big stake in Rentokil Initial PLC, which is why it's jumping up today. But I think this, like you said, volume is low. This is not likely to create any trading activity, just like the other one didn't earlier this week. So I've probably talked enough about it, but yeah.
Yep, gotcha. One that we actually somewhat like is Oracle. Not always, but I know they have news today. We'll look at that one, making our list as our gap up list from tradingterminal.com continues to grow here. Remember, you can always get free scanners there. Tradingterminal.com. Click on scanners, and you can get this same scanners list that I'm looking at now. So Oracle is up 6.8, 603,000 shares traded. Big gap up for them. They had a bunch of stuff yesterday come out, Peter. What you have on these guys?
Yeah, Oracle had earnings after the close yesterday. Actually, one of the rare earnings that I traded. I
Nice.
don't normally trade, but I was in the mood, so I actually traded it short from 135. Got a couple dollar move, and didn't stay around too long because then I had to go for my daughter's birthday. But interestingly, Oracle, despite being up this morning, they missed their earnings. They didn't actually have a great quarter. However, they used the magic words AI, and they did a very
Mm.
smart thing in that they shared a number of deals that they've got with, like I was mentioning, a lot of partners and some new customers, and they've got some big customers using some of their services to run their AI. So Microsoft, OpenAI, and Google are three of the big ones that they mentioned very specifically in their press release. So you notice that, and in their sort of earnings conference that they had. So Oracle's getting the benefit from that, especially with some of these guys hitting all-time highs in the last few days. Oracle, I feel, is sort of riding on the AI coattails of the big players and say we're playing too. And I mean, they have some legitimate deals here, right? Like it's good business
Yeah,
for them.
yeah.
So
It's like
the fact that they're playing
Microsoft
with, like I
and
said, go ahead, sorry.
no, I'm saying like it's Microsoft, right? Microsoft is in there as well,
Yep,
doing a deal with
Microsoft's
them.
one of them.
So
Google,
yeah,
OpenAI, they got the big names in there. So yeah, they're so anyway, some good deals for Oracle, and that's really what the move is. It's not the earnings; it's the fact that it took the opportunity to mention these partnerships. So, like you said, though, Carlos, Oracle, it's often tough to trade during market hours. So. I'm probably going to watch it, but I don't know that it's going to do anything tradable for me. So,
yeah, and it's going to be overshadowed today by some of the other great stuff that's going to be trading today. The CPI continues to move the way it's moving, like the SPY's holding this pop, right? We got to wait a few minutes to see if it's actually going to hold this. We've seen this happen before. Not saying it's going to come back down, but we've seen this plenty of times come right back down here. So I think it's going to be overshadowed. Is it worth on a secondary? I think it is. It's got a great catalyst today. Again, up 7%. That's a big, big pop. Is this all-time highs? Yes, it is. We just cleared it. Yep. Let me just go back. Oracle's been around here. All right, yeah. So we just cleared it here now on the pre-market. Yeah. So yeah, looking good on the secondary list. Let's take a look at the next one here. Is RDFN. We'll do two more for the top. Yeah.
I used to like watching Oracle only when they had the battle of the CEOs. I don't know if you'd remember this. Maybe you guys out there comment if you remember this. Do you remember when the CEOs of Oracle and Microsoft were having a yacht battle? This was back in maybe late 90s or maybe it was early 2000s. It was a little while ago where they're having a yacht battle where they literally, who could have the bigger yacht? And they would do like crazy things. So literally, like someone had a 130-foot yacht, so the other guy would literally restructure the prow of his yacht just to add another 5 feet. So now he had like 2 foot longer yacht than the other. Like it was
wild.
Stupid billionaire rich person stuff. Like it was dumb. But they went on for years. The old yacht battle between Larry Ellison, I think, was the CEO of Oracle, and it was Ballmer, I guess, who was the CEO of Microsoft, and the two of them would anyways, the old big D swinging, if you can use that term.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a thing that you would watch. I'm not saying it was like, it was just like over time they just kept going back and forth of who had the bigger yacht. Anyways, I always remember that battle. I remember shaking my head, say that it was just, it feels like dumb things. Like, I don't know, when you have too much money and don't know what to do with it, that's what happens. It seemed like a warning.
Money's got to go somewhere. You can't take it with you, right? So might as well do something with it. Let's take a look at this one here. RDFN. We are up 6.7, 207,000 shares traded, and it just looks horrible. I'm not going to watch it today, given how great the moves are looking right now on other tickers. I'll keep this one to the side. Peter, Redfin, we've seen this ticker before. I don't think I ever kept it on my list. I definitely have not traded it. Have you had it on your list? Have you traded it in the past?
I have not. You're right. It comes up usually a couple times a year, but no, I don't even quite. I mean, Redfin is affected deeply by being a real estate company by interest rates. That's what I'm trying to say. So they're eagerly looking forward to the interest rate announcement today. But I don't think it's going to be tradable, really. I mean, I could be wrong, but this is another one of those categories. I typically, just as soon as I see it, I'm like, probably not. Real estate services and REITs, real estate investment trusts. There's a bunch of them that trade out there. They sometimes get these weird, like, volume patches, but they're not tradable because it's not consistent volume. They're usually in big blocks.
Yeah. Our good buddy, CompuCare team. Do you take care of computers? You're like a company that takes care of computers. But anyway, you got a great comment here. Does this mean that the Fed's going to cut rates in July? We don't know. I think our good buddy Jay Powell has been stringing us along as possible. He had no plans to cut this year. And he just got the carrot right in front of him. So he wants to just keep us right there. And the market's been doing a great job of not falling apart. It's just coasting, right? So he's done an amazing job here. I mean, you could have not asked him to do a better job than what he has done. He has kept us at bay for half of the year, and he could continue to do it. I'm not saying he's going to cut rates here. Who knows? He might just continue to just, data dependent, So we'll see.
When I look at, I don't know, there's a FedWatch tool out there that you can look and see what's likely to happen with rates. So just to talk about that. So the rate expectation for today, 99.9%, and this is just sort of people that are surveyed, right? So what are their opinions? 99.9% of all those out there believe that the rates will stay exactly where they are for this announcement. The July announcement, it's 85.5% that believe it'll stay right where it is, and the other 14.5% believe we'll get a quarter basis point cut. So, it looks like for the most part, everybody believes rates are not changing, not going anywhere. The farther out you go, the more percentage that they believe there'll be a cut. For September, 60.9%, or about 2/3 almost, believe there'll be, again, a 25 basis point cut. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it's for today, which is the important one for us immediately. Everybody expects no change. So if there is a change, it could be very exciting. If there's any change.
Oh yeah, it'll be a shocker, that's for sure. Another question, class here. When is Andrew coming back? I think this weekend his time is up, or maybe early next week. I don't have all the details. Brian's the one communicating with him, and I haven't seen if he sent out any newsletters yet on it. So, but I think his expiration, you know what I mean. His deadline's coming up to climb the mountain end of this week. So we'll see what happens. But he's okay. We've been we got some updates from him. He's all right. It's just they can't get any higher. But who knows? We don't have the latest and greatest. All right, friends, we're going to stop here because this gap up has a ton. We'll skip around and cover a few of these. As you can see, it continues to grow. Let's look at BTC, and then we'll look at, Peter, what you like on the gap up list. I know some names that are looking good. And then we'll also look at our usual suspects, which obviously are going to be probably what makes up a lot of my list today. Hashtag BTC is going to give us what's happening here. And as you can see, Bitcoin bouncing nicely this morning. So that's going to drag Riot, Mara, and some other ones on their coin are up slightly. And Peter, this is just CPI stuff, right? I mean, there's nothing else going on Bitcoin at the moment.
No, not really. Bitcoin made a rare midday price adjustment or drop yesterday. Around noon, it sort of hit the low. And remember, we said that there's sort of this area, this range it's been trading in. So it sort of hit this low point around 66,400 roughly in Bitcoin prices, and then sort of moved back up into the range. So we're really just seeing a little bit of recovery of the stocks that were following it intraday. But yeah, I don't think there's much of excitement happening. Again, it amuses me to no end that Bitcoin does seem to be affected by interest rate announcements when theoretically it's supposed to be completely independent of regular market pressures that would move currency and markets around, right? That's its whole point. And yet here we are. So, I don't again think it's going to do anything particularly interesting. What I do think is sort of interesting to keep an eye on, perhaps it's just for entertainment value, is GME. Uh, GME is continuing to make moves here, and it's up over $30. Yesterday it was sitting below that, and now it's back up over 30. We have to keep an eye on it because coming up in about a week, June the 21st, I guess that's a little more than a week. June the 21st is a big day for GME because it's a big day for Roaring Kitty. For anybody that's been following Roaring Kitty, as you were talking about, Carlos, right? He just did that first ever live YouTube thing on Friday, and has been very public about his holdings. He's got 5 million shares, around 20, 21 bucks, and he's got 120,000 options that all expire on the 21st. So something's got to give. Something's going to happen between now and then. I don't actually know what options they are. Maybe Jared would know. So can you just let them expire and without any penalty or what? But anyways, that option expiry probably is going to be a big day for GME because 120,000 option block is significant enough to get people's attention, of course, and everyone else that's going to be trading around him, right? Taking cues from him, right or wrong. So the penalty is 100% losses. Okay, so something has to happen between now and the 21st, it sounds like, if Will's right there. So anyways, I just know that June 21st day is going to be a big one. So I still find it endlessly amusing that one individual, just a regular Joe like us in Roaring Kitty, can command such attention and influence on the market, even if it's over just a single stock. And I shake my head at some of the stuff that he's doing because it just seems ridiculous to me. But there you have it, right? I mean, we're talking about it, and it's got market attention. So who am I to criticize? I just all I can do is sit back and watch and enjoy the fun. So that's GME on the gap up. And the only other thing I think it's still on the gap up list, it was earlier today, is Taiwan Semiconductor, TSM.
Yeah.
TSM, actually, all of the semis are gapping up today. I see green across the board there. Of course, I see green virtually everywhere, except Apple, by the way, which hit all-time highs yesterday. But anyways, TSM specifically, some articles that were coming out that after Apple hit all-time highs, that they are going to benefit specifically from the Apple Intelligence AI tool. And they also simultaneously announced that one of their subsidiaries was looking to try and hire 2,000 highly educated, trained employees as they continue to struggle to meet the demand of their chip manufacturing services or business. So good news for TSM. They're in a growth cycle and have some good prospects down the road. So TSM is not one of my go-tos, one of my top go-tos on the semiconductor side, as you all know, right? I'd rather look at AMD and NVIDIA. However, with some specific news on it, I might just keep an eye on it today just to see what it does. Neither NVIDIA's got good volume. It's 8.5 million shares already this morning. AMD only has about 500,000 shares, but I'll watch all three probably. Put them all on my stacked list here.
I was watching our good buddy Elon share something pretty interesting here on Twitter. He is something else. So he is showing Apple's intelligence at work, right? So iPhone, Apple, your data to open AI. That's why this guy gets in trouble, man. He's putting this stuff up here. I mean, he is another great source of entertainment. Oh, love it.
He's not wrong. It's a little sardonic, but that is more or less how it works.
Yeah. Let's take a look. Speaking of Elon, let's take a look at Tesla. We're breaking out of this range. We did break down yesterday. It was a beautiful drop here as we broke down from that range, and it just kept going. So very, very nice drop yesterday here. Look at that opening there. Just complete disastrous drop based on the payout for Elon Musk. Right? So that's been going on with the voting and all that stuff. So I think this one will be fun to watch today. Million shares traded. I'm going to put it as a secondary. I don't think it's going to be on my main. I think there's some other ones that are looking much better. So before we get to what you guys like, I see you guys throwing a couple of tickers out there. Let's look at the gap down, PARA, and this is Paramount. And man, what a drop. Yes, I did not see this. Look at this drop yesterday before the close. What happened? that's yeah. It's only gapping down 2.8 today, but it's obviously more than that because look at the drop on right before the close. So something happened here. I know they've been trying to get bought out by someone. Maybe a deal fell through. Something had to take place here.
Yeah, well, so there have been talks about a buyout, right, for a long time,
Yeah.
and they've had a couple of suitors out there. You're right. Yesterday, the news. I saw the announcements after the close yesterday, but the Skydance, which was one of the suitors, apparently their deal is dead. So the one of the Paramount family holders, someone who controls a significant amount of the shares, said that that deal is off. They're not going to approve it, and they wouldn't accept such a deal. So that dropped the stock, as you can expect. It's never good news when one of the buyers you basically tell the market we're not doing the deal. So I don't know what that means. It doesn't mean that they're not still available for purchase, because apparently Redstone National is also out, but is someone else going to get in? I don't know. It's one of these. I think they need to merge. Like, I don't know, Carlos. I can't get Paramount in Canada. I don't think it's available. I think it's bundled under other
Paramount
services
Plus,
somewhere. But I just seen there's too many services out there. Is it one of the ones that you pay for? Like, does anybody pay for it?
I don't have Paramount unless with Verizon. I got a couple of things. It might be with Verizon, or it might be tied into some other deal. But the big ones for me are Disney, obviously for the kids, and Netflix, and there's a bunch of other stuff. But Paramount's not one of them that I'm gonna go for. Just not it. All right, let's take a look here, friends. Yep.
Oh, tell me you can get. I mean, I know you can get Paramount, but through Amazon or something else. I don't know that you can get it directly. But anyways, it doesn't matter. I haven't sought it out. I have enough services. The last thing I need is Paramount. Well, Mike says he uses it directly. So, anyways, all right. Well, the point is, there's so many of these services. Paramount feels like one of the ones that is more likely for merger, because I think it needs to happen. But the fact that this deal off, Paramount might move today. Like, if there's more news, it could move even further. But Carlos, I don't like. Typically, I've watched it a few times and it's never done anything.
Yeah. The only time I watched this was, remember when back when this guy lost, I think, what was it, a couple of billions on this thing, Paramount, when they had the huge drop. But yeah, it's not a one that we keep an eye on. All right, let's take a look. Heading towards the bottom here on our gap up list. Just go back to that. We'll cover anything exciting. It's just a lot of stuff on there. All right, guys, let's take it to the chats. Before I do that, Peter, is there any other stock that you're looking at this morning?
The only other one that maybe I should mention is AFRM. We mentioned it yesterday, and I did watch it. I did not get a trade on it, but it's just been a little bit of random news. Like the Apple seems to be lifting a lot of ships. Affirm is getting some offshoot benefits because they're being included in the Apple Pay solutions. You can see how they popped up yesterday. They're popping up a little bit today. I think that it might continue to be in play, despite the fact that I haven't really got any trades on it. But it's gapping this morning with some decent volume. What's the volume here this morning? 500,000 shares, so not huge.
500,000 shares, yeah, which is good for them. That's not bad. And again, partnering up with Apple, that is great news. And Apple's going up, so this is gonna hopefully help them as well. I have it on my secondary list. Thinking of Apple, we'll look at Apple now as well. This definitely has to go on our list. A little bit down today, but that's okay after such a monstrous move yesterday. They bombed the keynotes, but I guess the development, me and Leonardo were talking about this in chat, that did very well, and that got things going here pretty nicely. Let's see what else. Over in our chat, we'll start here. Meta. Yeah, let's take a look at Meta. Do we have any volume this morning? 230. Look at this beautiful takeoff here in Meta. Obviously, everything happening because of CPI. We know this, but still, that looks nice. So I like the daily. Look at the drop that we had back in April and how nicely we have come back from that 450 back to their all-time highs, I believe, right? So Meta's another good one. I
Meta, there was some rumors yesterday that everybody was, how people get excited that after Nvidia had a successful stock split, because as I said, normally the stock price goes down. We can see it
yeah.
holding the pre-split price, and in fact going up quite nicely. They're suggesting that other stocks might start to consider a split, and they think Meta's top of the list. Sort of makes sense. It's sitting at a $500 price. They could obviously do a 5-for-1 split, put them back into the $100 range there. But I mean, that's just rumor. That's speculation, right? Meta has not made any announcement. They're looking at a split right now. But
I mean, let's not be confused, guys. These guys are making so much money. It's unbelievable. And everybody using AI most likely is going to be using some kind of NVIDIA chip type thing, except Apple. Because Apple likes to do their own thing. But these are the guys. I mean, and you're right. Every time you get a split, you do get a drop here. But I just think it's not going to happen with NVIDIA, man. It's just too much. Too much. Love it this morning, guys. Up 1.8, 9.5 million shares traded. Look at the volume the last 2 days. Just insane, right? Given the lower price. So I like NVIDIA as well. We're going to put it on there. Has kept this nice trading. And I think it's going to continue to do that. Back to our chat. Neo. Ooh, Neo? Let's look at Neo. Blast from the past. No, even today they're just so bad. Look at this. They actually had a good drop off yesterday. So I don't know what drove this. I wasn't watching it, but a good drop off yesterday. But for the most part, these guys trade horrible. They'll have like one decent half of day like this, and then they'll go back to horrible trading. So I'm not inclined to watch it. Not on a day like today when we have so many other things to look at. And don't be fooled by this 3.5 million in the pre-market. Neo does that almost every single day. It could be the worst trading pre-market activity, and they'll have 2.5 million. So that's not indication that these guys are in play today. All right, over in our chat with Neo. So yeah, Ali, the volume doesn't give us much on Neo. TAN ETF for what holdings? Is that ETF for solar? Okay. Yeah, I don't usually put ETFs on my list besides the SPY. In the queues. Do you watch any ETF, Peter? Good. I don't know if I know this from you. Do you watch any other ETFs besides like the SPYs, the queues? Do you watch anything else?
Not really. I mean, I've got a list of them that I flip between occasionally just to sometimes see what the sectors are doing midday. If I'm really uncertain about a stock, or I want to see if it's supportive of a stock, but I don't actively watch any. Especially not solar, to be honest, because solar, most of the companies in there don't move very well. They are interest rate sensitive, though. So, I mean, it could be, a day where the solar sector has some impact. But, if I'm going to play that, I'll just play other things more directly. So.
Yeah, I think they're great. If you want to trade a whole sector and swing trade, I think it might be nice. Right. Short swing trade, right? Not long-term stock. I think there's some issues with that. But for day trading, it's a little bit tough. But yeah, I see what you're looking at, Jesse. The day looks great. Looks like it's breaking out. Again, interest-sensitive stocks, because the solar panels are expensive. And when the interest rates are down, people tend to jump on these, right? It's just easier to get people on board. So, yeah, looking decent as far as that. But for day trading itself, I don't think it's going to be on my list. SLV, I think this is silver, if I'm not mistaken. Another one that I'm just not going to look at. But it's taking off here. So, but again, not for day trading, at least not for me. Apple we have on deck, so that's good. Greg is giving us GDX. GDX. Okay, these are all ETFs you guys look at. Okay, excellent. Man, there's a lot of them. Like I have a list of 15 here, and there's just so many. Brian is giving us an actual ticker. Yeah, an actual ticker, Nike. Unless Nike has news, this is such great shoes sometimes, but they're just so bad when it comes to day trading. I mean, they're just horrible, really. Unless there's earnings or something moving this thing. Right now, only 25,000 shares traded. Somebody made a mistake. They want to trade something else. I mean, I don't know, but this is not in play right now. All right, let's see.
Yeah, I don't see any news on Nike, so.
Yeah, so Nike's. I see what you're looking at, right? They're possibly breaking out of here and maybe closing this gap. So that could be interesting. If the market keeps going here, it possibly can do that. But as far as that explosiveness I'm looking for in the market open, I don't think that's going to have that. NVIDIA, we do have CrowdStrike. I know that one's been in play the last couple of days, doing some pretty good stuff here after a gap up. And even before their big gap up, you can see a little action here, increased volume in certain days. Today won't be the day I'll have them on here. I know they had a couple of really great trading days here, but I think some other great tickers that I'm going to be looking at this morning. Quick look at our YouTube chat over on YouTube, guys. If you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up. Really appreciate it. We love to be at our goal of 300 likes right now. We are sitting 91. Is that 91? Oh, that's so low. 90. Oh, that is brutal. All right, so let's see if we could act like the CPI data and just push this number up. That would be awesome if you guys can help us do that. We love your support. There we go, 108. Can we short this like not short this, like short squeeze, like a GameStop situation? So yeah, yeah. Let's get something going. Do I got to call Keith and say, hey, listen, come on the show and help us get some numbers here? But appreciate you guys, really do. It helps us a lot. Trust me, if it didn't, we wouldn't be asking. But it is a big deal for us. So thank you there. Let's take a look at Spotify from Sean over on YouTube, up 1.5, only 7,000 shares traded. I know this thing has some action over the last couple of days, but I don't think it's really in play, man. So just be careful with that one. Crowd and Netflix, again, all of these might be moving with the CPI data, but right now, not heavily in play as far as their own catalyst at the moment, right? Not that I'm aware of. All right, guys, we'll stop here. There's so many things to look at. I want to look at AMD. Because I know that I'll be watching this one. Again, been stuck in a range here, and today hopefully things can get going. So I'll put that one on the list. AMD, we'll look at, did we put Apple? Yes, we have Apple, and Tesla's down here. I have it on my secondary. I might move it up if I start seeing some other stuff that looks great this morning. So, and you know what I forgot to add, Peter? Mara, just to watch something Bitcoin related today. Mara has 1.5 million shares traded. It is up 3.7. Joao Mestri mentioned it over in chat as well. So definitely Mara will be going on my list. So solar panel does not move well. Yeah, go ahead, Peter.
You were just we've been talking about AI this morning, and it just reminded me of a story from yesterday. So it was my daughter's birthday. Took her out to a restaurant. Anyways, called Play, where it was nice, good food, nice restaurant. But one of her friends showed up randomly, and we were all like, "How did she know?" She literally showed up at the side of the table and said, "Happy birthday!" and "Oh my god!" and she had a gift and everything, and it was like, "What the heck? How did you find us?" I didn't realize. So my daughter shares her location with that friend through her iPhone, and she said, "All I did is I asked my phone, where's Gabby?" And it told me, you are at this restaurant with a reservation. Now, to me, that feels scary. Like a bit of a scary use of AI, right? Isn't it interesting?
Yeah,
like it just told them exactly where we were and what we were doing. And, and I thought, wow, that's, if you don't think your phone is watching you. Right, exactly. Now, it seems benign.
Did she post something like she post something on Instagram or something? My camera just froze, by the way. I think my battery died. But did she post something? Like how I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out.
No, I think it's because she shares her location. She does share her location with the friend, but maybe sharing a location is more than a location because she probably put something in her calendar. The reservation was under my name, so how would they know that she had a reservation? And anyways, but it just shows you how that's just more integrated than you think. And I just found it fascinating that she didn't have to do any work for it. The friend literally just asked her phone, where is she? And it was able to understand who she's asking for, find the data, relate it together, and spit it out. So. This is why, when I go on vacation, I don't post anything. I'll tell you guys, but often. But last thing I need to know is people. Oh, look, there's an empty house. Let's go. But yeah, Simmer, great for stalkers. I know it made me a little nervous.
Yeah, I never post exactly where I'm at. I might post something later down the line, but at the exact point where I'm at that time, no, because you might need to know where you're at exactly, So it's scary. Friends, so much to watch right now. I got GameStop, I got Apple, I got Nvidia. I'm frozen, but I know it. I can still talk here. AMD, Mara are all looking really, really good. Sean, so when we mean, let's be a little more clear, right? When we mean does not move well, we're not talking about the gap up, right? So you bring up a good point. If you look at EMPH, it's gapping up what 5.5. That's a great gap up. It's not bad at all. I love the daily for the possible breakout. What we're talking about is the actual trading itself, right? We watch this ticker so often on so many different days. It can be very choppy. So now it also depends a lot, and we mentioned this before, so you might have heard this already from either Peter and I. It all depends on your style of trading. We cannot emphasize that enough. Depending on what style you trade, it could be one stock that's for us could be choppy, could be great for you. So it depends a lot on your trading style, right? So just keep that in mind as you're thinking about this. So that is exactly what I'm doing. I am so focused on looking at that strawberry cheesecake. Is that cheesecake?
I was just
In chat.
I was just doing the
That's what
same
I'm
thing,
doing.
Carlos.
I wish I was licking my lips while I was doing that, but it would have been more believable. But yeah, there you are. So
there you go. Yeah, I was.
all right, friends, let's
are
get
you gonna
to
do it, Carlos? Are you going to eat it or not? Don't do it, man.
I'm thinking about it.
It looks
Let's
good,
see how this day ends. We might all be celebrating with some kind of cake, depending how the SPY does this morning. Friends, let's get to it. Today is a beautiful Wednesday, and we have the most lovely Susan on our psychologies tonight. So that's going to be exciting. Peter, walk you through what's happening today.
Yeah, so like you said, Wednesday, and that means that Susan is on deck. She is one of her first webinars here, and she's a good presenter, and we're looking forward to her introduction to self-mastery. It's a great topic in terms of how do I put this stuff together. This trading game is really 80% psychological, so mastering yourself is the key skill that you need to master if you're going to be successful over the long term. And she's going to talk all about it tonight, 8 o'clock in the webinar room. If you're not already an elite member, well, you should consider becoming one, because then you can take advantage of that. Now, next week, we will not be having a webinar, one of the rare Wednesdays where, well, the markets are closed. It's Juneteenth. So in light of that, there will not be a psychology webinar. So take a mental health day and rest and relax. And we will be back with you the week after. But for tonight, 8 o'clock, that's Susan that's in charge. All right. If you want to join us, look, you can see that $1 deal. We still have it. If you haven't joined the room and you're just finding us on YouTube, we would invite you to do it. It's a great deal. And it really gives you an opportunity to sort of see the room and what it's all about. For only $1, you get 1 week access to the chat room and limited access to our webinars, like the onboarding webinar that we do on Mondays. So it's well worth it. And see if this is the community for you. We think it's a great community and something that you should take a look at. If you're good with that, that's, by the way, normally $39. It's only $1. All right, you use that special code. The basic early monthly packages are, of course, available, and then the elite annual. If you're ready to jump in and be with us for a whole year, we would love it. If you want information on the markets any time of the day for $0, check out tradingterminal.com. It's where we go to get all the information this morning. In fact, they sponsor this pre-market show because we get our scanner information, the gappers, but it does a lot more than that. You can use that all day to find out what's moving to the high of days, what's doing a turbo move, or ORBs. It's got all sorts of pre-configured scanners, or you can make your own. Plus, of course, news, information, economic calendar. And you need that economic calendar today because, like I told you earlier, I'm going to remind you again, 2 o'clock, really big time in the markets here, right? 2 o'clock is when we have the interest rate announcement. That's happening today. And then 2:30 is when Jerome Powell hits the stage with his usual press conference after the interest rate. So as you can see right there on the screen, you got to be aware of that, because if you're caught in a trade and not expecting it, it could be very scary for you.
What's happening?
All
right. Your computer overheating?
I'm not sure if I'm still here. If you can hear me?
Yeah, we got you. Did your power go out?
We just had a power outage, and that was my UPS taking over. So thank goodness all my other stuff is plugged into the UPS. Look at this. Look, my UPS is providing value. So
wow. It's funny how I have one of those.
Not sure why we had a
power outage. Of those. And
somebody just knocked on the door a minute ago, so maybe they cut the power to the block or something. I better go find out what's going on. So
Yeah, go for it.
Carlos, are you out there? Can you take over?
Yep, I'm here. Yep, I'm here. All right. All right, friends. Yeah, again, as Peter
Well, maybe I
mentioned,
can't
two
hear him because my
o'clock.
speakers aren't plugged into the power. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
on,
that's what
Peter.
always
It's
sets me
yeah,
apart.
he can't hear me. Yep, yep.
I'll leave it
So
to you, Carlos.
perfect. All right. So yeah. So big announcements today at 2:30, 2 o'clock. So just look out for that. TradingTerminal.com has all the information for you. Also gives you the impact. So if you look out right on here, it'll give you the impact of what that does to the market, which is really nice. So the impact on there, you can see the press conference has a 3-star impact on there as well. So that's going to be exciting. So take a look at that. TradingTerminal.com. All right, friends. Let's take a look here at our list this morning. My camera's frozen, so I'm charging the battery now. If it comes back on, I'll throw it on there. But for the most part here, GameStop is on my list. I have Apple, I have Nvidia, I have AMD, I have Mara. And if I look at our secondary list, I got Meta, Affirm, Tesla, Oracle, and I'm just watching overall Bitcoin as well. So to get started here, we'll look at some levels starting with GameStop. And stick around if you're over on YouTube. We're going to be going live with Brian and Thor this morning. They're going to take you through the market open. So definitely be on the lookout for that. GameStop high of the pre-market 38.80 had a huge, not a huge, but a nice breakout yesterday. Looking to continue that today. It's got some good volume, 11 million shares traded. So 38.80 is a good one on there. 28.05 is the low of the pre-market today. So we'll slam one, actually 28 on the dot. We'll slam one on there as well. Surrounded by the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days, this thing can be very explosive today. So looking forward to it. Towards the top, we're going to have a couple of levels, 37, and obviously some insane pops towards that 50-48 area. I'm not going to mark those, but again, it'll be on my list. If it doesn't trade too crazy, maybe we'll take advantage of it, but it all depends how things move here. Here is Apple. Apple big day yesterday. Hitting some really nice numbers. Today they're down, but it's really after such a strong move. I wouldn't consider this a weak move at the moment towards the downside. So be careful with that bias. 207.61 is the high of the pre-market. The low is sitting at 205. 50. So we'll slam one there as well. As you guys slam that thumbs up over on YouTube, it does help us out a ton. So please make sure you do that. Our goal every morning is 300 before we end the pre-market show, and continue to hit those likes, obviously, after Brian and Thor go live. So 201 at the moment. We'll love to hit our goal of 300. Let's look at NVIDIA next. So NVIDIA this morning is stuck in this range towards the top of it, looking to hopefully get going. I mean, this company overall is just, I enjoy watching this company, what they're doing. To see a company, hits so many record-breaking numbers here. High of the pre-market, 123.52, 125.54 is the level above. That is where your all-time highs is set to. And towards the bottom, we do have the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days, right? So you're pretty good there. CompuCare, yeah, I did trade GME last week I got in at 37 and got out well before it hit those 60s. But yeah, I did trade it. I did make part of history in the GameStop situation there. But yeah, risk management, guys, cannot stress enough how important that is. AMD here, high of the pre-market this morning, 161.40. So we'll slam one there. And then towards the bottom, we do have the highs and lows for the last 2 trading days on there. And looking towards the bottom of that, actually, you're pretty good. You got plenty of levels. I'm just going to mark that 155.24 just in case we do drop a little bit lower, but you're pretty much set on AMD this morning. And I do have Mara. Bitcoin is pushing up today. Mara it gapped down yesterday, sold off. It came back up. I mean, it had a wild ride. Just a lot of movement on the stock. So hopefully today we can continue that, especially with the CPI data getting some momentum towards the upside on a lot of tickers. 2066 is the high of the pre-market this morning. And then towards the bottom, we do have low of the pre-market down around 1960. So once you mark those 2, you got some pretty good levels there. Looking at our daily, if you look to the left, you can see that 2066 is an area of a lot of resistance. We've been stuck here in the past plenty of times. Hopefully you can break out of this and get some really good trading action towards the top. It looks much better than if it starts dropping. 2141, another great level, and then towards the top, 2204 on Mara. And there's other ones, right? You have Coin you can look at. You have Riot. These are all moving very well. So look at Coin. They're up 3.1. So pick your favorite. I'm gonna pick Mara today. Pig Wrestler, I agree. Mara coin are my favorite, right? Pigrush, I know you like almost all of them, right? CLSK, you like Mara. But yeah, coin and Mara typically are the nicer ones. I'm gonna go with Mara this morning, but they all look great. Meta also big move, a lot of activity in the pre-market. Meta usually does not give you this type of pre-market activity. Today they are. I think it's worth watching. I have it on my secondary list, and towards the market open, I'll set levels for that as well to keep watching on my side. All right, friends, waiting for our good buddy Thor and Brian to come on and take over for the market open. As we do that, let me show you what our team is watching. So let's go over here to our moderators list. We'll show you what Thor and the rest of the gang is looking at today. We'll start with Thor. He is looking at a SPY, Qs, Tesla, Apple, and Nvidia this morning. And if you look at Susan, aka Trading Mom, looking at AMD, Nvidia, and Intel, and also adding Meta to her list as well. Mike will be looking at AMD, Nvidia, and Apple. Megan, Tesla, Affirm, and then next we have Pierre looking at Nvidia, AMD, Mara, Apple, and the secondary list will be Affirm for him as well. I thought we had Affirm. Yeah, we do have Affirm on our secondary list here. Next on there will be Phil. Phil likes Nvidia, AMD, Meta, Apple, and Affirm. Brian's going to take you to the market open today. And his watch list at the moment, Tesla, AMD, Nvidia, Meta. Peter's back with AMD, Nvidia, Apple, and that secondary list is going to be Tesla, TSM, and Oracle for our good buddy Peter. Move this up here so you guys can see that right there. For a good buddy
on the
Peter
screen
this morning.
I don't think we have.
What was that?
Oh,
did we lose?
There we
are. There we go. Oh, there we go. Okay. So there is the list, my friends. Yeah.
So this is, the law of unintended consequences. Let's. The guys rang my doorbell and they said, nobody answered the door, so we pulled your hydrometer out. They literally disconnected my house from power. I'm like,
yeah.
What?
That's what they do.
And they said, well, you didn't answer the door, so I said, well, I didn't answer the door because I was live broadcasting. They're like, oh, sorry about that. I'm like, no, it was the utility, Raph. It wasn't the HOA. It was the actual utility, the Hydro Ottawa, that came. And I guess I don't know why they're replacing all these meters. I had my water meter yesterday and my hydro meter today. And anyways,
they're making them wireless, man. They're making them wireless. It's the same thing for me. So now they don't have to come over here and check your meter. They all wireless now, so they can see the numbers.
All be at the same time. So, all right, well, get it over with, and then just leave me alone. But then, of course, wow, we got some exposed wires, so we're gonna have to report it. And I'm like, okay, what does that mean? They say, I don't know whose responsibility it is. So, well, it's not mine. So
George says they knew you were broadcasting. That's what they did on purpose. Yeah. Did we start talking about something controversial? Did we bring up anything weird? Cut Peter's power. Do it now. Pull the plug. All right, friends. Let's take a look here. Lenny coming in with NVIDIA, MU, Paramount, TSM, and Oracle this morning. All right, friends, we are all set here. Hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. Stay tuned. We have live Brian and Thor trading this morning, taking through the market open, which is going to be a very interesting one. I see our good buddy Brian there logging in. Good morning, Brian. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm doing well. How's everyone doing here? Sounds like
we're doing good.
Yeah, doing good. All right, guys. Before we hand over, just one last reminder again. Okay, big day today in the economic announcements. There you go. That's right. We've got 2:00. We've got the interest rate announcement from the FOMC that's coming out. Everybody's expecting no change. So if it's anything other, if there's any change in the interest rates, the market is going to lose its collective mind. So anyways, but we'll see what happens. But usually you get a market reaction, then 2:30 that Jerome Powell press conference starts. So be aware, once again, if you're trading this afternoon. All right, Brian.
Guys, trade safe. Today. We'll leave you with Brian. Have a great one. Take care.
Good. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Anyway, yeah, for sure. I think the fireworks should start at about, it might start at 2:00. Yeah, I know when they come out with these dot plots, which is the expectations of the various Feds members for rate cuts. But certainly when Powell starts speaking, we'll get a little bit of action going on. Let's put up a screen. I always find these days a little bit more difficult to trade. I've already had a huge move in the markets this morning, so a lot of news is sort of priced in to the upside, obviously. So we'll have to figure out to wait a few minutes for the dust to settle, as they say. So, but right now everything's gapping up a lot. Tesla's looking a little weak. I think we've got on Tesla. I think we have a shareholder that's suing Musk, and then I think tomorrow. Don't quote me on this. I'm just going by memory here, but I think tomorrow is when they vote on Elon's new pay package. All right. 4 minutes to the open. I'm going to be watching the scanners that we have on Trading Terminal 2. This is probably a good morning to watch scanners, just to see if we can find something that might be making some outsized moves. So CPI data, obviously, it came in a little lighter than what everybody had expectations for. So maybe rate cuts back on the table again. But certainly for the bulls, this was definitely a positive. Definitely was a positive report. I was listening to some stuff yesterday. I mean, we haven't had a decent correction for like 18 months or something, which is really unusual. Usually you get about a 10% correction every 6 or 7 months. So we are definitely on a tear here in terms of the markets.
Howdy, partner.
Hey, howdy, partner.
How's it going, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh man, I can't complain. I was getting logged in, getting a couple things ready. It took me just an extra couple seconds to get onto the microphone here, but ready to do some trading. Man, that first data came out. The only thing that weirds me out about that is we have bigger data coming at 2:00. So it's like, I'm not entirely sure how I want to play this necessarily, but it's going to be an interesting day for sure.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I don't know how things are going to unfold here this morning. Google popped up a little bit. Now it's pulling back. AMD took a bit of a drop. Tesla's looking weak, but the book looks a little bullish. So Meta's been sort of selling a little bit off its highs. My Caesar trade is up a lot. My swing trade. Like that. Rose.
All right. What is everyone liking? They got the, I know some people have been watching Apple. Ding,
Here we
ding,
go.
ding.
Ding, ding. Got,
So I got into a little bit of a pre-market position after that big volume spike. So I was short some micros on the NQ up here above R4 here right when that spike came out. So my target's right down here. So with any luck, maybe we can have an easy morning here. So I'm just kind of holding that. So that's basically the futures equivalent of the QQQs for anyone out there in YouTube land who isn't familiar with them. But we had this really big spike when the CPI data came out, and when everything stalled out here, the order book had a really large wall of orders to the top side. So I figured we'd sell. So far, so good. We'll see if we bounce or if we can get down here and hit this target.
I'm long some Google on this breakout through R4. Now it's getting a bit of a pullback here. But Google's certainly catching a bit of a bid here. I'm in at around 179.10, which is where we are now. Tesla moving up.
I went ahead and put this position on a trail, so no matter what happens, I'll make a couple bucks on this to start off our morning.
I'm going to take a little bit. Oh, there you go. I'm taking some off of Google 180.05.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice pop,
move.
man.
Yeah. Wow, AMD took a bit of a tankaroo.
All right. Watching Tesla here.
Tesla's got some big orders to the upside.
All right. Tesla's in a lower range, just pulled back to R3. I went ahead and pulled a short there.
Nice.
If it squeezes back up, I'll bail out of it.
Still sitting here with some Google. It's pulled back to the View app. I was distracted. I should have added there on that bounce. See if we can get above.
Okay.
Oh, nice rejection on Tesla, man.
Boom. Target.
That was a really nice rejection for Tesla on
that was 4.5 hour full hit. Boom.
Yeah,
Done.
R3,
Nailed it.
So let's see if we can get to 181 now on Googly.
Nice. All right. That's how we do. Okay now.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right. I'll enjoy y'all, whatever y'all are up to. How can I help? I just had my morning. How can I help y'all?
Yeah,
What do y'all
nice.
need? YouTube Landia. What can I help y'all with?
Beauty.
I go for specific targets. I really don't go for long trades or trends. I normally just go for specific hits. So I had a nice trade on the ES from pre-market. I cut that one or NQ, sorry, and then I hit this trade on Tesla. So really got my target. I risk $120 per trade. So when I hit these 4R targets, as you can imagine, not bad. So I'll take it and we'll do that. So any guys, questions, anything you need, let me know. Otherwise, I'll support Brian here as he makes us some more lunch money.
All right, 2 minutes, 5 minutes into the trading day. Yeah, nice move on Tesla.
Yeah, Tesla's been doing this quite a bit lately. And today I was like, I'm going to make sure I'm focused on Tesla at R3. It did the same thing. You can see it did the exact same thing almost yesterday and the day before. R3 came down this day. It opened, didn't quite make it, but today was just perfect. Look at that wick right through it, hit it right at the level. This green level here is also monthly is also a monthly level as well. So it is a good spot to look for something. Just great.
I think I had taken some more of Google off at above 180 again. Kind of looks like it's stalling out a little bit here. It's now it's pulling back again.
And see, now you're seeing why I like doing my 4-to-1 targets so much. After hitting my target, it squeezed completely back. I'm almost all the way back to break even now.
Yeah, that was really
Technically,
nice.
if it holds, I could re-short using the same system and play it back down, but I won't do that because I'm happy.
You're happy?
It's
good to be happy. Yeah, right back to R3 again on Tesla. I'm out of the rest of Google. I don't like the way I lost the VWAP there. So, anyway, that was a pretty decent trade on Google.
Absolutely. Paulus, Thor, did you take the R3? I thought you needed a 2-day to be bearish. It is. So notice on Tesla here, we are in a lower pivot range today. So notice how our CPR is lower. Right, so this is in line with that. Fun.
Tesla's looking kind of bullish now. Looks like it's got a lot of orders to the upside.
CVD is red though.
Yeah, that's true.
It's getting a lot of selling. But it is buying right now. No doubt about that. It's trying to eat through 173, which is pre-market high.
Yep.
Got my little target. So one of the things, I did a webinar last night on what I call the how. And one of the things I talked about in the webinar was I made kind of this case for just having reasonable targets rather than going for really big trades or trying to, take lots of ads and lots of partials and trying to catch 8R and 12R moves. It's easier just to kind of target 4R moves, get in and out of them. And 4R, I just feel like is kind of the sweet spot for these. So I think anything over that's kind of asking a little too much sometimes for the trade. And anything less than that, you're not going to make enough profit to offset your losses. So you kind of have to find a really nice balance. And I always kind of like the 4R target. I can get in and out of more positions safely that way, so I can still have 12R days or bigger days, but I don't have to just have a big home run trade in order to have a decent day.
Yeah, look at Apple's breaking out here. Going for another run. Nice move on Apple. Qs are breaking out. SPY is back at high of day, high of the pre-market. Google bounced off 9 EMA. Everything bounced back. AMD bounced back.
NQ, which is the future for the QQQs, hits its top of its monthly range at 19,471 or 19,472. So we're just underneath that. So if you're starting to look at like SPY and Qs, I mean, we're getting up here. Qs are above R4 now. I mean, it's pretty wild. We're really pushing, not, I don't know why, because I'm just always the contrarian, Brian, I just feel like we're in like a really nice spot for a really big fall. But I feel like I've been saying that. But like, maybe FOMC comes out and they're going to say something in there. It'll be interesting to see what they say. Because right now we kind of got news out that makes us really want to push. And we're just making all-time highs and just getting higher and higher and higher. And it's, I don't know, what's going to shake this market, man. It's wild.
Yeah, well, like I said, we've gone a record amount of time without any kind of correct, 10% correction in the market.
Yeah. So does that mean? What do you think? Does that mean we got to make up for it at some point?
Yeah. Well, at least we're overdue for a 10% correction. Let's just say it that way. Wow, AMD is rocking it. AMD's got a whole lot of orders to the upside.
Regal in the YouTube room says the market is so easy. Day of big sells is gone. He says it's never going down. AI, which it's a good buzzword. It's for sure. AI is real.
But I mean, this whole AI thing. I mean, it just reminds me of the .com bubble. And when we had Oracle last night, and they came up with some numbers that weren't great. They missed on their numbers just marginally. But they threw in the AI word, and now they're up like $14 right now. Oracle had a nice breakout. And this is exactly what the .com bubble was. It's just like deja vu. Let's just throw a .com behind our name, and guarantee you get another 10%, 20% valuation in your company.
Man, I wish that worked for me.
Yeah, Tesla came off. You could see the
ThorYoung.com.
You could see the bids on that. Oh.
So Oracle, oddly enough, Oracle has a lot of sellers here. 139 to 140. We absorbed the bid and then started dropping on selling. So Oracle seems to have found someone who's interested in offloading some shares at this level. It's not quite high enough though for me to feel comfortable shorting it. And I know that's kind of interesting. But I would, we do have a couple of orders still to the top side, but the ladder to the downside on the bid is really nice. I mean, this ladder to the downside is super clean, very well organized, big bidder sitting down at 130. If this thing doesn't careful, this actually has a lot of what you would be looking for in a stock that's going to basically do what they call a UTAD, which is an upward thrust after distribution, run into this big seller at 140 and then just yoink, and it just starts selling off like crazy. But we have to keep an eye on the top of the book to see if they put any more orders in. But right now, it's looking a little toppy up there for old Oracle. But they're buying. CVD still green. So we'll see what they do. M&Q still rocking and rolling. There's another. Look at that. Look at see how the seller's making it drop there. Drops on significantly less selling volume than it takes to buy. So we've got to have a seller here. That's an iceberg seller that's got to be sitting up here between 138 and 139, just offloading. Anytime we buy, we stagnate. Anytime we sell, we drop.
ARM has had a really good morning. It just seems to keep going.
Hey, just a quick shout out to everybody out there in YouTube Landia. If you don't mind, there's actually about 500 of you watching our cool little show this morning. And I've only got about 250 likes in there. So pay your bills. Let's smash that button. Come on. You want Carlos and Peter to keep doing this thing, and you want this live trading thing. There's people paying $100 a month, plus to sit in here and talk to us all day. You're getting it for free out here. All it costs you is one of these. So that was a guilt trip. Yes, it was.
It was a guilt trip.
And you're welcome.
You
Love y'all.
Easy.
Thank you.
Yeah, easy peasy to click that button.
Maybe toss a share in there if you get bored. I'm just saying. Thank you, sir. Eddie. Sock, I appreciate you. Much love. It's fun when people drop. You see like a couple numbers drop, and you're like, dude, I was just asking you for a thumbs up. Yep. So the thing that's going to be interesting here on old Oracle is if we invert VWAP, right? If we cross VWAP and then come back under, where it's your average participant from the early session is going to get put under pressure. It'll be really interesting to see what starts to happen. But right now, if we're looking at our volume profile too, we had a very, very large spike on this inverted hammer here. And then we dropped and bought up a little bit, but our volume dropped. And then we actually had an acceleration in volume as we sold. And here's the really interesting part here for all of these who love some VPA. Look how we sold down here. And as we pull back up, notice how our volume declines now, right? So for good solid buying, that volume should elevate if we're looking to advance. So we're definitely struggling to find a lot of buyers to handle the amount of selling we have here. Doesn't mean we're a short quite yet, but it certainly means we're having trouble buying. And if I was going to go one way, I probably wouldn't be buying right now. You know what I'm saying? So obviously, I don't know. It looks pretty fun.
Yeah. Still question how some of these companies monetize this AI stuff. I think that was the big challenge with, again, we go back to the .com bubble. It was like a lot of, it's great to throw a .com behind your name, but how are you going to monetize it? I just shorted a little bit of Oracle. Now you've been talking about it. 137 to 15.
I like the style.
Where we go. Let's see where we go. This is an area where we might find some support.
Yeah, there was someone in the stream that was asking what strategies am I using. I just wanted to toss out, if you're interested in either Brian's or my strategies, both of us have actually written, documentation on it. I have a book, a complete day trading system that I wrote. It outlines every aspect of my entire trading system from start to finish, where I look for trades, where I look to get in and out of them, all of that stuff. And then Brian has a brand new book that he just came out with. I actually have a signed copy. Yeah, go me. And check that out. And that's for if you wanted to learn anything. He's got a really good swing trading book, really good options trading book, just all kinds of awesome stuff out there for him. All of that stuff's on Amazon if y'all are interested in looking around. Brian Pezim or Thor Young.
Go check it out.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. Some red is showing up on the screen here. It's interesting. Dell went red. Dell's really been struggling.
Oh
supposed to
yeah.
be they're supposed to be the data center that drives all this stuff.
Dell.
Nice,
Dell's
nice
order book
R4.
looks bearish too.
Yeah, a little bit of an R4 reversal there.
Brian, what's the name of your book?
Well, one's how to swing trade, and the other one is how to trade options. So
So easy.
it's the old how-to books.
Yeah. So he's a part of the suite of books, if you will. But yeah, so
Yeah,
the how-tos, and then mine's
yeah.
a complete day trading system. It was originally going to be called The Subtle Art of Day Trading, but I found out the word subtle doesn't market well. So
Mhm. Yeah, you don't want to be subtle. All right.
yeah, look
Well,
at this order book.
yeah,
See, they're selling. Dell's selling down into 130 right now.
yeah.
Pleasure, Dabs.
Apple just continues to push higher here. Crazy. It's going to go. I think there's some orders here. 215.
Apple is in a higher range today, so an R4 short would be on the table if it happens to get up to it. Still got a little work to do though, but that would be a very nice, very extended extreme reversal. Basically, just looking for this thing to get way overextended and try and play a mean reversion on it. But Brian often says, "Don't short a strong stock." And I always
Yeah.
keep that in mind with these. In a higher range, we can also do a trending breakout. And if that occurs, things just keep on going, which is kind of what it did yesterday. It broke out from R4 and went all the way out the floor levels. I mean, it was just an incredible day on it yesterday.
Wow. Qs and SPY are just on fire. IWM should be
Rocking.
up a lot today. Yeah. IWM is up almost 3%.
Oh, huh.
Zillow is
That's
having
loading.
a pretty. Zillow's having a good day too here. Found that on the scanner. If you want to check out
Ooh, this is one
Trading
of the big
Terminal
orders.
scanner. TSM is really it's showing up on the scanner too here. Taiwan Semi. It's had a nice move up. Yeah, Bitcoin really took off as soon as we had those numbers. It was definitely a risk-on scenario as soon as we got those numbers out. Airbnb, doing anything. Yeah, it's funny. Dell is really selling off. I'm just in a little Apple here just to see if we can get to 215.
I'd love this thing to
It's got a
fade off the 215 order.
215.60.
It empties out a lot after 215. Apple is running $5 like increment, like institutional orders are hitting every $5 basically. So this is To go above
Yeah.
215, you'd have to go into a new institutional range. So if we're going to get kicked out, this is the spot. We're going to try and go into a new neighborhood in a second.
Yeah.
So if we're going to get
Because,
kicked out, this is the spot.
Here we go. I'm just going to sell some here at 214.60.
But we can keep going. Don't underestimate this thing. I
Oh,
want to
no.
see what
Yeah.
happens, how it deals with this 215 order, because this could be a fun spot. See, 216 is bringing on a little more heat already. So they're trying to get it higher. Look at
Yeah,
that.
here we
buy.
go.
Yeah, baby.
Here we go. So I'm going to sell some more here. And I'm, like I said, it's getting really extended up to R4 here. It's pulling away from these moving averages.
ES is at R6. SPY is basically at the top of its daily range right now.
Yeah. And there's a drop on, bit of a drop there on Apple.
You see the tape light up? Pow!
Yeah, everybody was just pushing it to 215. We just barely did a print there. As soon as it hit that print. Wow. And what the heck happened to Meta? It really fell out of bed here. Jeez.
I went ahead and hit a little short on that.
Pow.
Not on
the
Meta, on Apple.
on Apple.
Yeah.
I would have. Don't think I'm going to chase it here.
It can easily squeeze back up. I like
Yeah.
the way the tape got lit. I got a good entry on it too. So if it pulls back up,
Yeah.
I'll just get out of it. And if it goes higher, I'll get
Yeah,
back
if
in.
you get a good entry on that, that
It
215.
was right up. It
around
was
that
right up
area.
at 215, and I saw the tape just flush. So
Yeah,
I went
nice.
ahead and hit the button. But we'll see what happens. This thing's been strong, and 215's got a lot of orders. So if it goes up, then we'll have it. But I had my big win on Tesla, so I've got a trade to take here. If I lose this trade, I'm done for the day. If I win this trade, I can keep on trading. A big order at 210.11. Yeah, that's a real order. That's one of the reasons I'm interested in going short, is because we've got bid to the downside, and we're absorbing into a large seller, a very large institutional seller at 215. Our order book structure to the downside is very nicely tiered, but it's a lower volume ladder, so it'll require significantly less volume to move down than it will to move up. So if we can't find enough buyers here, we'll have to go down and find them, and there's not really a whole lot of them until we get down here. So it should be a pretty nice drop if it happens. So far, so good.
Yeah, nice.
But we'll see what happens. I love it because this is basically a free trade for me, because I can take one trade and I'm still over goal. So I'm just giving this one a shot because it seems like the right spot. I'm going to try and probably run this thing back down to the open price.
Wow, that'd be up to. I'm looking at that. That'd be quite the run. But
why
it would
not?
be that would be your typical R4 rejection. R4 to S4.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the range potential, that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons I like it so much, is the range potential on it's massive. It'd be a run back to 200 if it decided to. Like, mean right now or value is around 204.60. So if it rejects here, it could easily come back to 205 basically. And normally when the market reverts, the pendulum normally doesn't stop at the mean. It normally swings past it. So it would look for it to move back to 205 and maybe go as low as 200 before finding value back near 205. But we'll see. I mean, it can easily push and break out. If it does, I'll be out of it, and that'll be my trade for the day. My stop is at 216.08, so I've got a bit of a width on the stop too.
Yeah, this is your this on Apple. This is your what do you call this? An inside day.
Yep, really wide cams on a higher range day. R4 rejection's kind of the ideal play. Technically R4 ETH, so that's why I'm running it a little wide, because it can go as high as 216, and I'm still valid. If it goes above 216, I'll be out.
Yeah. If you haven't caught some of Thor's videos on his trading the cam pivots, they are excellent. I just watched them again. I've watched them more than once.
Thank you, sir.
And really awesome explanation. Very clear how your strategy and how you trade it.
Ooh, here they go. They're gonna buy it. Ugh, dang it.
Yeah, that's the problem with.
I'm still in, but not for long at that rate. Let's see if the top of the range holds out. They probably saw my stop sitting there. We're gonna go get it.
There isn't much. Well, there's 220. There's a big order at 220. I'm not sure if that's no intention to fill.
No, that's a real deal. That's another institutional order.
Yeah, it's a pretty big order.
Real. That's what I'm saying. If it goes through here, just get out of the way, because it's got nothing in the way. It can just run to this next giant order, basically. So, but it's pretty cool. I mean, I saw there was a really nice seller there. I like the way the tape flushed it. It actually sold right from where I was, but buyers came in really strong right there. So nothing I can do. Just hold and wait. I haven't lost yet, but I'm close.
Tesla wants this 175 level, but we're right at R4 and we're right at yesterday's high. Qs and SPY continuing to push here.
Nice, Anna. Good job. Still found my seller there.
Who did you trade? Looks like Apple. Nice.
Yeah.
Caught that one. Beauty. Breakout to the upside.
The fun part was the long-term call we had on Apple in April. We were calling Apple in April at 170. There was a really obvious high value area that was there. And it was right in a buying range off of our monthly levels. So there was a bunch of people, I think, that started getting into Apple around 170, and they're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
I know I stuck a little in my long term.
Jesus. Yeah. Yeah, I've got some... we've got Canadians can trade stocks like the Mag 7. They seem to have. They're listed on the Toronto Exchange and they're hedged, currency hedged. Not that that's not that important, but because the Canadian dollar keeps going down, so kind of lose out on that. But yeah, so I've got some of that. Mag 7 in Canadian funds.
Paris got Tesla.
Paris, you got that reversal on it, eh? Nice.
Got his Tesla on for sure.
Yeah. Okay, we're right at R4. We're getting a bit of a rejection on Tesla right now. And this is yesterday's high as well. So kind of, I was tempted to short it there. Didn't quite get to 175.
Yeah, I'm still short.
Mara's done nothing. Oracle's at high of day. GME Chop Fest. They raised how much did they raise? They sold 75 million shares. I think did they raise like $2 billion or something, or on that thanks to Roaring Kitty.
I don't remember how much it was, but it was crazy amounts.
Roaring Kitty owes them. They owe Roaring Kitty, I should say.
Yeah, 2.5 is what Tarbish is saying. Yeah, somebody owes something. I don't know. I mean, hey, what a great job. You know what I mean? If as someone who often comes into a YouTube feed and presents for people to trying to get a couple of these, thumbs up, people. I'm just kidding. What I thought was like so amazing about it was actually like the chat on it looked like a ticker tape. It looked like our time in sales, because there were like, I think at the time I looked, there were like 400,000 people or something like waiting for the live stream to open. It's just like, I was just like, wow, it was just crazy.
Yeah, I know it. But for for a failing business to have someone like him promoting it, it's just like people there must think they've died and gone to heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was wild.
We got to come up with some strategy to turn that company around. But at least they didn't lose as much as they did last year. They only lost, what was it, 32 million instead of 55 million they lost before. So there you go.
That's an improvement.
Damn! I was going to take Tesla at R4.
Maybe you can answer this question for me. Why do you go to a GameStop?
Well, exactly.
I just don't know. That's the whole thing I've been kind of like trying to put in my brain. My son yesterday wanted like a new Mario situation or something for his Switch or whatever, and I logged into my mobile phone, I hit a couple of buttons, and boom, it was on his Switch. It just appeared like as if by dark magic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All of a sudden this game is just now on his Switch. He didn't even have to do anything. I didn't have to go anywhere. If you want like the controllers or the toys, they're in significant abundance all over the internet for seller. I just don't get it. I've never really gotten it. Just like go in a tiny room and stand with a bunch of people looking at a very limited selection of inventory.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, I might have went a little far on that soapbox. My apologies.
Anyway, well, whatever.
I just don't get it.
Maybe they'll pivot or something and find a business model that might make some sense. But
well, fortunately, Brian, they now have $2.5 billion.
They've got a war chest to start, playing around with stuff.
So they can do all kinds of things.
They could be. Maybe they could be selling like mushrooms and 420 to go with the games.
I like that. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
That
Yeah,
sounds like
partner up with,
a winner.
yeah,
I think
you partner
GameStop
up
really needs
with,
to announce that they're using an AI, and then I think maybe that takes things to the
yeah,
next level.
that works. Yeah, they could partner up with what's that, True Leaf or something like that.
Oh man.
All right. Well, I shorted that 215 Apple. Let's see if we can
All right,
kind of
there we go.
join in
I
on
got the
this.
power of the profit coming in with me.
Yeah. See what we get going on here. The Qs and the SPY are kind of topping out here.
Oh yeah, they're at the top of the range. R6. So high up here, man. Jared kept telling me the market could just keep going up. And I just keep going, Jared, no. It has to sell off at some point, right? And Jared goes, define the
Not
word has
necessarily.
to.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think someday.
I was like, what do you mean?
Someday. Don't go up, Apple.
Or what's he say? I assume it will at some point.
Yeah, at some point.
But not today. All right.
Tesla bouncing off kind of did a 920 there, bounced off the 20 EMA. I don't like that.
Our volume seems to have really like waned off a bit up here.
Yeah, I don't like that order sitting at 216 there on Apple.
Yep. It went into it before and it was able, the one thing we have slightly going for us right now is we have an order that's revealing themselves at 215 and 3/4, 215 spot 75. We just had an order kind of drop in ahead of the price. So those sellers seem to be getting a little impatient, which I kind of like that.
Yeah.
So so you can see here, as soon as this extra order came in, all of a sudden our bid started moving laterally. So someone was selling at the price and putting more orders on. So yeah, there we go. There's some selling.
Yeah, you know what else I liked about? I did like that. Is those big buying volumes didn't move the price. You could see the big green balls.
Some absorption. The big
they
buys were ahead
absorbed
of the order.
Yeah.
For y'all out there in YouTube, one of the things like that's really helpful is like, I don't know if y'all have caught on like Trading Terminal and these other ones. We've got like Paris has done these tape reading courses, and this kind of lines up with what he talks about when he talks about reading the tape and seeing absorption on the tape. What he's seeing is, as he sees green orders come through, basically the price doesn't go up. It just stagnates and stays level. And then when he sees red orders come in or the bid gets hit, he sees the price drop away. So he knows that the bid is being overwhelmed by sellers, because anytime the price goes up, it can't, or buyers come in, the price can't go up. Anytime sellers come in, the price waterfalls away. So you can kind of read that absorption and know kind of when you're struggling to make it through a level or not and play off of it, which is really helpful. He got some really sweet. He longed my Tesla short. So he's blaming me actually for being the reason he took his first stop and then got back in, because I shorted and dumped the price on him. You're welcome, Paris.
Mm-hmm.
Tickers are gone. I'm still holding it. I don't really like moving to break even. So, it's okay. I'm already up on the day. I had a really great short on Tesla, and I've made money for the day. And my thesis is unfortunately I'm not wrong until I'm wrong. Right now I'm still right. I haven't gotten stopped out of my position, so I'm not wrong yet. So, but I might be wrong. So, looking more like I'm wrong every second. But in this instance, so the reason why I don't, Mr. T for turmoil, the reason why is generically when I get in, I'm normally in near these high value areas. So it's very normal for me to kind of get caught in choppy action before it moves in my direction. But if it comes out here and breaks through this order at 216, now we're in an area where it could back test and become a trending breakout, right? So I'm wrong if it goes above 216, and then I'll actually evaluate it for either another failure if it comes back under, or if it gets above it, I might even play it as a trending breakout now. Well, I mean, probably not because it actually did open in the CPR. So, I could actually look at this and play it the other direction technically, but I'm not wrong until it goes above 216. That's the price.
Nvidia's really having a good day here, breaking out.
The only time I really go to break even is if the ticker has moved like more than like a couple R in my direction, and basically, or if I've gotten a really bad fill. Like if I went in here and my stop, was up here, but I ended up getting filled really far away, I may go to break even just to give myself an opportunity for a better fill. But for the most instances, I just keep my stop where they are. You'd be very surprised as traders how often you're right about the move, but you're just wrong about the timing of the entry. So if you're a little too paper-handed when it comes to getting in and out of trades just because you get retested a couple of times, you have to be careful with that. The market loves to jig fish. So if you're too paper-handed, you're basically just going to get like kicked out, and it's really hard to always time your trades perfectly. It's much easier just to hold. But you have to have a place where you're wrong or you're disadvantaged, so then get out and then make new decisions. But otherwise, it's good just to kind of sit back and let it happen. Candy, paper-handed is what we call like easily throws your trades away. So back in the meme era in which I started trading, so this is the first iteration of Wall Street Bets and all of that stuff, we had this fun term called diamond hands, right? So which, it's not as prevalent now, but basically it just meant if you buy it, just buy it and don't sell it. Just hold it. No matter what happens, just hold it, right? Diamond hands. So the inverse of that is paper hands. Right. So if you find that and often both of them have issues. You don't really want to be diamond handed as a day trader. And you don't really want to be too paper handed as a day trader. You just want to get out when you're supposed to and get in when you're supposed to, so it works though. Nvidia still going?
Yeah. Nvidia just went through 126.
What's the book look like on this crazy thing? Woo, that's a lot of buying. 15 million shares to the positive today. So almost 16 million to the positive.
Well, the Apple's just hanging in there. The Qs are right up at R6. SPY keeps going.
Wild.
Interesting. Some of the FANG stocks are red. Amazon, Meta.
Nvidia's order book just flipped. Check this out. Watch Nvidia. It just threw on a whole bunch of bids to the downside. They came in on ARCA route, really obviously. On Bookmap, they kind of crept in a little bit. But now that you're looking at it, notice how we pushed up here, and notice how big these orders have built over time. They're trying to build the bid to the downside. It's really interesting. Still buying like crazy though. Love this market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see here how they came up and filled all these big orders here. But you're right, there are a lot of orders down here.
I mean, they still have sellers. They're tearing in at 127. So, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say we've topped, but there's certainly a lot of people who would prefer to buy lower than this. But right now, that does not seem to matter.
No. You throw up candlesticks on your book map too, I see.
Oh yeah. They're kind of fun.
All right.
I don't know how useful they are because it's kind of, I kind of see through them a little bit. You know what I mean? So, but
Yeah.
not bad. A buddy of mine's actually doing trades through Bookmap now. He's actually entering and exiting trades because he's using the full version. I was like, oh man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see how you can trade through it.
Mm-hmm. Wild. I don't have that in my version, at least right now. I got the Schwabi version.
Right. I think I can set mine. I might be able to set mine up to trade through mine. I'm not sure. Well, I am flat on this Apple trade, but overall,
still just hanging out. Everything just kind of died out. We kind of had that nice morning push. Now the concern is, do we just get hung out to dry for a little while, waiting for FOMC at 2?
Yeah. Well, this is where we're at right now. AMD is really choppy today. It's been up and down.
I can see why it failed off of 162. It is an iceberg.
AMD right at yesterday's high. NVIDIA seems to be taking a breather here. Not sure if it's still going to push higher, but
kind of interesting here. It is. It's a lower range. Yeah, I don't like that.
It's funny, AMD still got some orders to the upside when the 162, 3, 4, and 5. But the CVD is actually showing it's been selling today more than buying.
Mm-hmm.
But
a little distribution.
Yeah. But it looks like it wants to push through 162 right now. 162 is high of day. 162.05. Look at that. Qs are just continuing to tear here.
Ripping.
Yeah.
Market's been a party.
Yep. Just be careful.
Yep.
Watch out at 2:00, 2:30. Let's see what. This. I don't know if Powell's going to rain on the parade or
I mean, it just
bring on the sunshine.
it's hard to not think like, I mean, if you're going to buy and you're going to position in the market in a place to buy, you would think you would put it in a place that's advantageous to buy. You'd at least be near the breakout range on the daily chart and stuff like that. I mean, these things are just going wild. So, I mean, it's we're going to be very, very high in the price when this news comes out. So I just feel very, very nervous about being long in that kind of a scenario. But who knows, man? I'm not betting against this market right now. So I'll probably just abstain from playing the majority of that price action and just, see what happens.
Yeah. Ghost, a nice trade. We have one of our members, Ghost, nice trade on NVIDIA. You must like partial, the number of partials, you must be doing like 2% every time. NVIDIA, we caught, one of our other members caught NVIDIA too in the lab. Nice. Oh yeah, 35%. Okay, cool. Staying with this trade. Q's and the SPY, there's just relentless buying.
I like how, not for nothing, Apple's been kind of just sitting here struggling while everything else is still pushing.
Yeah, we're not making any more progress. I mean, it had a big move yesterday, so wow, Caesars
it should be
is
a range
really,
day. The cams are so wide
Yeah.
that in theory it should be a ranged day. It's a solid theory, though. Not holding out too well.
Yeah. So people that are following my swing trades, I'm taking some Caesars off here. I don't know why it gapped up so much, but
What's the ticker on that one?
Into CZR.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I think
Oh,
Carl
look at
Icahn. Yeah, there was a bit of news back on June 5th, May 31st, where Carl Icahn had bought into it, made an announcement. So I just thought if it's good enough for Carl, it's good enough for me.
Right on.
But it's
Apparently
I've been
everyone else
looking
thought
for
that.
this. Yeah, been looking for this breakout above 137.30 or 37.30. So got more than the move that I expected. So
Yeah, I mean, this ticker was almost a $50 ticker within the year.
yeah, yeah.
So it's got
Here we go.
potential.
AMD is going to make a
Yeah.
move here.
Dan was asking, I know you don't trade orbs, but how long did it take the psychology-wise to not have Romo on a trade like Apple today? What I found out for me, and it's just a personality thing, I never really liked the speed of the opening range trades or how fast I had to make decisions in those moments. And I've always been fairly risk adverse, so that really never really fit me. For me, it is much, and I know this is contrary to the way a lot of people play, but for me, it's just easier to hold positions than it is for me to get in and out of them. So I actually am more comfortable just sitting in a position and just allowing it to work, and rather than messing with it, because every time I mess with it, whether I'm taking profit out of it or adding into it, I just, I feel like I'm changing the equation over and over again, and it just adds tons of variance. So for me, this is why, my trading system's rather simplified in that regard. I just kind of go for reasonable targets and then just kind of, do my thing. But yeah. So anyway, that being said, it is actually rolling into 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. So I did want to take a little bit of a moment before we cut our feed to YouTube to say thank you to everybody out there in YouTube land. We really appreciate
Right
everybody
on.
hanging out with us and all of the thumbs up and all that good stuff. And then we appreciate you. More of this live trading to come over the next of the week while we wait again for our fearless leader to come down from the mountain. Sounds very spiritual when you say it that way.
Yeah, it sounds
But it's
very
not as fun as it sounds. I'm
kind of
pretty sure you're
religious.
setting all kinds of records for how long you can be stuck in an ice box or something like that.
Yeah.
For anyone who is so inclined, I did want to just say, if you have a moment, I know this doesn't always go well with everybody, but if you could just keep him in your thoughts, good vibes, good spiritual, all that stuff. Much love for our fearless leader, just that he gets through this endeavor. It's obviously he's putting his mind and body on the line, and it's really cool to experience that and watch him. So I appreciate everybody out there, and thank you so much for tuning in to the Pre-Market Prep Show. Thank you for hanging out with Brian and myself during the live trading. And Profit of Profit, always great trading with you, brother. We tend to make money.
Yes, sir. We've had a good morning again. So hope everyone out on YouTube had a good day as well. Like, subscribe, and take care, everybody. Have a good rest of the day, and watch out. 2:00. There should be some fireworks, and 2:30. And Powell sits in front of the mic. So have a good one.